very good. Oh dear, we got a frozen picture. It's a frozen picture. Never mind. It's all cut. That's because it's cold. That's because it's cold outside. Good morning to you. It's Tuesday, the 22nd of January 2019. Welcome to the Chapel Hill Marina here in Lincolnshire, and this morning's United Kingdom talk with yours truly, Chris Reardon. I got up a little bit later this morning. I didn't set the alarm for 7:45 as I normally do when I'm up here, and I think I woke up about 8:30. You know, after the long journey coming up here, and I do get a little bit tired on the way up. Managed to get to bed last night. Oh, it was a little bit later. I think I got to bed about 3:45. I don't know why that is, actually, because I got up here with plenty of time. I got up here about 1:45, so I was kind of pottering about for about an hour. Do you know what I mean? You know, when you're ready to go to bed and you think, oh, I'll just do that, and I'll just do that. I'll just have a little look at the newspapers and, you know, for this morning, see if there's anything worth talking about there. And then before you know it, it's like 2:45 in the morning. But there we are. You know, I got into the caravan, turned the water back on, made myself a cup of tea. It's lovely and warm when I get up here because I've got the heaters on. I turn the heaters on at about 12 o'clock, you know, sort of when I've been driving for an hour or so. Had Maureen's delicious sandwiches. Maureen was in the old central station last night. See, no Abba from Maureen last night. Disappointed, Maureen. No Abba. You are the queen of Abba now. Maureen is the queen of Abba at the central station karaoke nights. But she didn't do any. She had one more lined up, but we didn't get to it. Quite a busy night for the karaoke last night at the Central Station. We had, I think it was something like 24 or 25 singers, 26 maybe last night, which means everyone sang twice. I don't think anyone sung more than twice last night, but a very, very nice night indeed. The sun this morning, I got up this morning, the sun, it's hang on, is it clear skies? Hang on, let me have a little look at it. Look at there. It's sort of wispy, some clouds quite high up, but the sun was certainly streaming across the field, which is right in front of me. Now, when the sun hits the caravan, that really warms it up quite quickly. You don't need to have the heaters on, which is quite nice. I can't believe I have now been coming up to Lincolnshire almost every week for 7 months. I bought this caravan in July, dirt cheap. In comparison to what some people pay for caravans, dirt cheap. And I bought it in July, so July, August, September, October, November, December, January. 7 months I've been coming up here now. I've got completely used to the journey, which is generally about 2.5 to 2 3/4 hours, depending whether there's any roadworks anywhere. There's never any traffic, of course, at 11 o'clock at night. And of course, at the London end, depending on how many red lights you get. So isn't it funny? Sometimes you can leave somewhere and you get all red lights, and other times you can get all green lights. Last night, all green lights, straight up here, no problem at all. So July, I bought this. July, I can't believe it. One of the best things I've ever done, buy this caravan. Today, I've got to go around the outside of it and take some photographs, and also I'm not going to climb underneath it. I don't do that. If I wanted to get my hands dirty, or someone I know dirty, and wanted to climb underneath a caravan, I'd be doing this myself, but I'm not going to do it. I've decided to insulate the underneath of the caravan because the floor gets very cold, and I was reading somewhere that heat is attracted to the cold, so the heat's all sinking down and not getting thrown around a lot. Even on the rooms that have got carpet and not lino, it's a blooming cold floor. So I'm going to get the underneath of the caravan insulated, and I've got to send off some photographs to the company that's going to do that, so that they know they can do it. They've got to have so much clearance to be able to climb under. It's not so bad if you've got a concrete, but I mean, it is on a concrete base, the caravan. You have to have it on there in case the thing blows away in the wind here. Oh, you'd love that, wouldn't you? You would love that. It'd be like something like the Wizard of Oz. You know, when the bikes and all that are flying past the window? Well, it is on concrete, but also they've got little stones on it as well. So I'm surrounded by stones. So if you can hear anyone walking, crunch, 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 crunch in the stones. Quite a good security thing as well, actually. The only thing is the stones are underneath as well. And if you're going to climb under that, you're going to need to be lying on something because all the stones will be a little bit sharp, sticking in your back. And I just don't fancy doing that. So I'm going to get a company to do it, hopefully, send them some pictures a little bit later on today. And they'll be able to tell me how that goes. Although they've only got presumably I wouldn't need to be here when they're doing something like that. But if I do, they've only got 2 weeks to do it, because I've only got 2 more weeks of coming up here, and then the site closes in February and March. So all the shows then will be coming from Bracknell in Berkshire, all right? I didn't bring so many clothes up here as well. I'm not bringing too many clothes. Well, I didn't bring any clothes up here. Just a pair of knickers. I only put a pair of knickers, clean knickers. 1 a week is enough. You don't need to be changing clothes every day, dear. 1 pair of knickers per week is perfectly all right, unless you're a messy person. You know, if you have some sort of bowel problem or something like that, I can understand you taking a pair of knickers every day of the week. Ah, isn't that right? I don't know if Jason's with us. I would imagine someone like Hard Young Brit has got many pairs of knickers in that little bag he carries around to nightclubs. I would assume. He likes going on trains, is that right? Oh dear. So 1 pair is enough. A couple of t-shirts. I didn't bring anything up at all. Just a couple of towels. Because I don't think you really want to leave clothes up here if you're not going to come up and use it. I mean, there's nothing of value in here. I've got an old telly in the living room. Not unless someone wants to break in and nick a kettle or something like that. You know, it's pretty pointless. You don't really want to leave stuff in here if you're not going to use it. Maybe clothes would they go mouldy if they're not being aired properly? You know, they're stuck in drawers and not being used. So I haven't brought anything up here. And I shall miss coming up here for a couple of months. And talking of travelling, here's a question for you, and then I'll start reading some of your messages for you, gang. Here's a question for you. Are you a traveller? Do you like travelling? Do you like getting on a plane or maybe just in a car or a boat, whatever you do? Do you like going on holiday? And if so, are you like me? Now, I like home comforts wherever I go in the world. I want to be able to log on my computer or mobile phone and do the sort of things that I do at home. I want to eat the food that I eat at home. You know the story I've told so many times before. I used to take all my own food on holiday. That is not a joke. I never forget going. I went to Barbados with my friend Steve. That would have been around 1999, 1996, somewhere around there. I went on holiday with my friend Steve to Barbados. And one of the cases was half full with tins of food. Beans and sausages, spaghetti, chili con carne, because I was eating chopped up dead animals at that point. I'm vegetarian now. But in those days, I actually ate chopped up animals, like some of you do. Yes, I know. I've seen you running after that poor cow, trying to slice its ear off and shove it in your fat mouth. Talking of fat mouths, we've got Gemma Collins news coming up very shortly. Aren't you excited? Yeah, so do you like to take your home comforts on holiday with you? How about a kettle? How many people take a kettle on holiday? I do. I've got a little travel kettle. The only thing is with those little travel kettles, they seem to take forever to blooming well boil, don't they? Especially if you take them to America. Because you see, in America, it's only half the voltage, isn't it? Whereas we're 240 volts. They're like 110. And you can put a kettle on there. Well, it can take 20 minutes to get the blooming water warm. Takes ages. But I do like to take a kettle on abroad. And I also take tea bags. And here's another little tip for you. Take powdered milk. Now, I'm not keen on powdered milk, but at the end of the day, it's better than nothing. Because you can be in your hotel. You know what hotels are like? The Travel Lodge or something like that. And you get these little things, tiny little things that are shoved in the corner. And after you've had 2 of those, that's it, there's none left. What if you wake up at 2 in the morning and you want a cup of tea? Or you've been out, I'm just going to bed now, I've just had a bit of a drink. I'll have a cup of tea. Oh, I've got no milk. Yeah, you don't want that. So advice to take powdered milk. You take a kettle, tea bags and powdered milk. And something else I take my own mug. I take my own mug. Do you know why I take my own mug? Because you've got these silly little, pissy little, tiny little cups, haven't you? That you can get, oh, it's finished. Oh, you've got to make another one. No, take your own mug. Advice, if it's a China mug, which it probably is, put it in your hand luggage. Unless you're on Ryanair, in which case that mug put in your hand luggage will probably cost you another 50 or 60 quid. Or you could get a tin one. Tin mugs are all right. You get them from Millets or a camping shop. Nothing wrong with a tin mug. They work well as well. So when you go on holiday, do you like home comforts? Do you take anything to remind you of home? Maybe some pictures. Anyone take pictures? I take a picture of my mum. I do. On holiday with me. It's in the case. That's what I take. What do you take? Let's see some of your messages this morning. Good morning. First message of the day. Looks like it's from Mr. Ray Reynolds. Good morning, Ray. And where's my glasses? There we are. I bought a pair of glasses up as well. Another pair of glasses up. Because I broke the last lot. Do you remember? There was another. Oh, it was Ryan, wasn't it? Ryan came to the. Do you remember Ryan last week? We found out he was an optician, and he was saying, "Oh, bring your glasses in. I'll fix them for you." Anyway, I didn't think anything more of it until on Friday last week. We were doing a karaoke at Central Station, and this bloke put a song in, and it's from Ryan. Okay, Ryan, you're not the Ryan who was talking to me earlier on while I was doing the show, and it was Ryan. He is an optician, someone who looks after eyes. I bet he's in charge of that machine. You know that machine? You know when you're having your eyes tested? You'll know the machine when I do this. I hate that machine. Okay, just a little puff in your eye. Oh, God. Oh, sake, man. Is it the machine doing it, or is it the person operating the machine that goes in your eye? Ray Reynolds, good morning to you. Morning to Adam the plumber. Angela Walters in the house. Christina Ewing in chilly Portsmouth. Morning, Christina. Jason Prince is there. What's he got there? Good morning from Miss P. He's put a link to his cabaret stuff there. Have a little look at that. Click on that. That's my friend Jason Prince. Jason used to be just a DJ. He's now a drag person as well. And he does a damn good show. A really, really good show. Miss Prince is his name. When are you with me at Central Station again? You must let me know. Good morning to Adam the plumber. In yesterday's show, you're talking about your old railway engines with Vectis. I have an idea. Could you put a long shelf behind you and run a piece of track along the back wall? Along the back wall, across the winter scenery in the Bracknell, your studio, and press a button and make it move across. I could, but that's a lot of work. You'd have to put a shelf up and everything, Adam. And it would distract from the chat. That's the other thing. I have put stuff up behind me before, and people say, oh, I don't know, it's a bit of a distraction. In fact, someone mentioned the fact that, I think it might have been Ray Reynolds actually, who was saying, oh, you only need one clock in the studio, really. Yes, and I think Claire as well is sometimes distracted by the moving pendulum. Like that, the moving pendulum. Maybe, do you think I should just have one clock in here then? Should I just have one clock, or doesn't it bother you? I think it's quite nice. I'd like to have a wall full of different clocks. So far, we've got the cock clock, the cock clock, and we have the owl clock. What else could we have here? Perhaps you'd like to send one in. Bring a clock into Central Station. I'll put it on the wall behind me, all right? Morning to Adrian Richardson. Good morning, Adrian. Tommy, 6 months, you mean? No, 7. July, August, September, October, November, December, January. That's 7, dear. Are you having trouble with your calculations this morning, Tommy Flynn? 7 months. You know, so early July, August, September, October, November, December, January. 7 months, dear. 7 months. Let me turn my heating off. It's getting warm in here, dear. Gosh, it gets so hot under these television studio lights. It really does. Multiple knickers. Jason, do you take multiple knickers on? Oh, yeah, well, you've got that bowel problem, though, haven't you? Which a lot of people have noticed when they've been working with you, actually. You can get some of those carbon pants, can't you? Carbon pants to absorb the smells as they come out. Well, it's either you or Kelly. Who is it? London Underground. I don't know what you're talking about there. London Underground, Tommy. Michelle White, queen of all of Waitrose. Good morning, Michelle. I have to take my hairdryer and straighteners wherever I go. There you go. You see, the ladies. Oh, the ladies. I tell you what, Michelle. And he's going to kill me when I tell you that. When Ronnie goes on holiday, he's got almost half a bag full of toiletries. I kid you not. He's actually got about half a bag full up with toiletries. Sprays for this face stuff. And oh, honestly, ask him. He said, you know, when you just say to him, when he comes in the shop, don't tell him I told you. When he comes in the into Waitrose next time, so you know, when you go on holiday, do you take much what do you call it? Personal hygiene stuff, I suppose, or face creams. Or he's got a bag full of the stuff. Honestly, he has that. One cupboard is full of little creams and things like that. He takes away. Dear. Morning to Dave Anthony. Good morning, Dave. Christina, I take my home comforts when I go to hospital. My own tea bags, hand cream and shampoo. You've got to take your own tea bags. That's the only other thing, boys and girls. When you go away, the tea bags can be absolutely, especially in America, Lipton's tea bags. Oh, they're awful. Just over, they come in a little yellow paper bag type thing. They are awful. You won't find any PG tips or anything like that unless you go to a really big supermarket. You know, there's a lot of small supermarkets, small like mini marts they're called, aren't they? Like 7-Eleven and places like that in America when you go abroad. You can only find Lipton's tea bags. You won't find anything proper, dear. Waitrose tea bags are really nice. I use loose tea. At the moment, I've got Clevedon House tea, which is very, very nice. Now I don't think we've got any messages from YouTube people there, which means I may not have got that blooming notification again. How no is that? Yes, I've seen all the films, Jason, I know. I didn't think any of them wore. Didn't think any of them wore underwear at all. Especially that Kai. He don't look like he wears any. Adrian, Chris, what was like? We went to ABC Club at Central Station. Is that why you only have one pair of knickers but 100 pairs of nappies? I don't wear nappies, do you? No need to wear nappies. I'm all grown up now, Adrian. I bet you'd like to wear a nappy if only they made one to fit that fat arse of yours, dear. Anyway, news of fat people in a moment. Good morning to Mark Jones. Good morning, Mark. Welcome to our show today. No messages from anyone on YouTube. That is unusual. 1 minute. Let me just see if that is working. Yes, you're on YouTube, aren't you? That's really strange. I reckon people haven't got the notification again. It's so annoying. I can't work out what's going on there. I'll try something again tomorrow. Okay, and we'll see how that goes. I was watching the news this morning. And what's it called now? They're talking about the Brexit thing again. It just goes on and on and on, doesn't it? Oh, Christ. And you see, I'm of the opinion that it doesn't matter who's in charge. Theresa May, what's that old tramp's name? His name's gone right out of my head as well. Jeremy Corbyn. So it doesn't matter who's in charge, they're all going to be in this state. I cannot believe he actually wants to run the country when this is going on. He must be off his head. Well, actually, I think he is. But, you know, all these people talking about, and they keep going on. Why are they now calling it a people's vote? So it's a referendum. They want another referendum. I think they're disguising it as a people's vote. Someone has told them, if we call it a people's vote, we might have more of a chance of getting another one. I don't know what you think about that. But it's a people's vote. It's basically another referendum. Why don't they just say, we want another referendum? All these bods keep coming out. No, we want a people's vote. We want a people's vote and all that. I do wish they'd get on with it, though. We're going to be talking about this for years, aren't we? Years. Old David Cameron, he was running away from the cameras the other way, wasn't he? Morning to Martin Edwards. Good morning to you. Roy says it's a bit dark. Not looking dark here. Try turning the brightness up on your screen, Roy. That might do it. I don't think it's particularly dark in here, is it? No. Got the lights on. Everything's on here. Looks all right to me, old boy. Looks all right to me. Helium. What are helium heels? Well, there is some sort of gas coming out here. I'm not quite sure what it is, Jason. Adrian, I didn't realise you kept staring, looking at me in that way, Chris. I'm flattered by your compliments, but too old for me. Thank you very much. Too old for most people by the looks of things. Good morning to Chris Manzar. Oh, it's dark there as well. And Martin Edwards wants to know, is it cold down here? I can turn the brightness up a bit. Hang on a minute. Which camera? One. I can turn it up a bit. Bum, bum, bum. Advanced settings. Here we go. How's that? Oh, there we go. That's better. There we go, boys. How's that now? Oh, you're right, aren't you? You're right, Roy. I was incorrect. There we go. That's much better, isn't it? If only someone had told me that right at the beginning. We've burst into life. Incidentally, I've been mucking around a little bit. I think I have now been able to get music to come through here. Not only that, but phone calls as well. Now, Adam the plumber, are you around still? Are you still with us this morning? Please speak if you are. All right. Sorry about that. I forgot to adjust the every time you come in here and start a show, you've got to adjust everything before nothing seems to save, does it? Nothing seems to save at all. So let's have a look. There we are. Yes, if Adam the plumber's still there, please send a message, Adam, because I think I've set up the thing to allow phone calls to be done. All right, so we'll see. Adam's there. Adam, would you kindly give us a ring on the Skype phone? Do you have it? Or do you want the number? Oh, I can't remember what the number is now. Hang on a minute. Let me think. I just want to see if it works, really. I'm desperately thinking of the number. There it is. 020 8144 3477. Don't know if that'll work or not. Just like to try it out because I think I found a way of doing phone calls up here. 020 8144 3477. If you could please, Adam. All right. Adrian, Chris, we should try and Rafi are off for a night with Chris. Sell tickets for £5 a pop or go at you and Reggie was a charity. So there must be someone out there who can oversee your age. Special into something nice. Compliments about myself. I'm really touched. I haven't got any compliments for you, I'm afraid. There are no compliments for you at all. No compliments. Come on, try that, Adam, then. 0208 144 3477 and we'll try that. Gemma Collins news this morning, gang. Are you ready for some Gemma Collins news? Oh, yes. She's had a lot of rows, and you might have seen her on the telly the other day. But Gemma Collins is said to have been locked in an argument with Judge Jason Gardner and hit out. I don't know if she actually hit her physically. Holly Willoughby behind the scenes on Sunday's show. Now, we've already seen... we've already seen the papers on Monday when she was going off on the stage. But apparently this continued backstage as well. It says, as reports surfaced, this is in this morning's Daily Mail, surrounded her behaviour, she went on to thank her fans for their support following a tough week. Oh, poor Gemma. What was so tough about it, dear? What was so tough about your week? Couldn't you find any clothes that would fit you, dear? Put on a bit more weight, have you, Gemma, love? Alongside an Instagram video of host Piers Morgan praising her on Monday. Piers actually praised someone. And of all the people Piers Morgan could praise, it's Gemma Collins. Can you believe it? Not the Queen, not the Prime Minister, not anyone else. He praised Gemma Collins. I don't know what planet he's on. The Towery star penned, thank you to everyone who supported me. It's been a tough week. Oh, poor old soul, it's been a tough week for poor Gemma. Adam, are you trying to call or not, dear? There's nothing happening here. Can you try and call the number 0208 144 3477? If you can, darling, and I can see if it works or not. She says, a source told The Sun, Gemma was furious backstage. Or did she do the crying as usual? She likes to cry a lot, doesn't she? I like seeing Gemma Collins cry. I like it when she looks really unhappy. It amuses me greatly. People say, why are you so nasty about her? I'll tell you why. I can't bear looking at untalented people who have been put on the telly just to be laughed at. I said that on the show the other day. She is there for you to laugh at her. There is no talent involved in Gemma Collins or virtually anyone in any reality show such as Big Brother, The Only Way is Essex. I can't bear any of them. And then they pluck them out of there and stick them on the telly. It's dreadful. Oh, now let's see if this is working. Let's try it. Line 1. Good morning, hello. Adam. Adam?
Hello?
Oh, I can hear you. Can you hear me? You can't hear me, can you?
Hello?
You can't hear me, but we can hear you. How annoying is that? I I don't know why you can't hear me. Oh, what a shame that didn't work. We could hear you, but you couldn't hear me. Now, how does that work then? I'll have to look in that a bit further. Oh, well, that's a shame, isn't it? Yes. Don't think that's going to work. So I've managed to get... I can get music coming down, but the sound doesn't go in. Let me have a little look at my settings there. See if I can change that at all. That might be a nice thing to have, mightn't it? If that works. Oh, have I actually closed the Skype now? What have I done now? I'll worry about that later. Let's get on with this. I'll worry about... Oh, hang on a minute. What's going on there? That's there. Settings. Settings, audio and video. Adjust microphone settings. Oh, what's this? Test audio. What's that do? Are you getting a funny noise? I don't know what that is. Test audio. Adjust microphone settings. What does that do? I don't know what that does. Well, I've done something that says adjust microphone settings. If that works, Adam, if you've got time to call back, that is. Back to the story. So behind the scenes, the Daily Mail says the atmosphere is even more toxic now. Two of the most prominent people on the show are at war. It has been reported that poor old Gemma is yet to receive an apology from Holly Willoughby after she called the reality star unprofessional during her Dancing on Ice experience. Instead, she's focusing on her stint. An insider told the publication Gemma hasn't got an apology from Phil or Holly yet. What a shame. But she's happy to let it go and concentrate on the skating. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, my dear. We really do appreciate it. Right, let's try Adam again. Good morning, Adam. Can you hear me now?
Hello, Chris. I don't know if you can hear me now.
Yes.
I can't hear you at the moment. Have you got an unmute button, maybe?
You can hear me.
Like
you
that
can't
in the
hear me,
studio?
no?
I don't know. Never mind. We'll try again later.
No, don't hang
Bye.
up. I can't try anything if you're coming. Oh, unmute. I just saw... He's hung up again. You've got to give it a little bit longer than that, darling. I can't do anything. Let's try someone else. Anyone else want to try this? 0208 144 3477. I just saw an unmute button there, and I've just pushed it, so I don't know if that will make it work or not. Someone else try. 0208 144 3477. Unmute for incoming calls. Don't know what that means. Well, I won't know until someone calls in. If not, it doesn't matter. I'll do it at some other point. So she says she's going to get on with the skating. Now, this is all in all the papers, as well as the Sun as well this morning. Oh, why has that gone wrong? Oh dear. Oh, well, that seems to have frozen completely. I can't even get my news stories now. Oh. Just a minute now. This is all going terribly wrong this morning. And with Jason Prince watching as well. Oh, I should be the laugh of the world. One moment. Oh, hang on. There he is. Morning, Adam. Can you hear me now?
Maybe this will be the third time lucky, Chris.
Can you hear me now?
I'll stay on the line for a few minutes, see if we can get anything going.
Yes.
And see if you can get this working today on the show. Would be nice, because then we can talk to each other and reminisce about how wonderful show that you do every day, almost daily basis. Now, can you hear me at all? I'll give you another few seconds, because I don't want to take up the show if it's not going to work.
I can hear you if you can hear me.
I'm not sure if it is or not.
Can you hear me or not?
Just try it.
No, you can't hear me at all, can you?
On the same device as I watch you on, so hopefully this is working. If not, I'm sure you'll hang up, and I'll understand why.
Well, if I could just get a word in edgeways, if you could shut up a minute, then I could speak.
You're in, Chris. I don't know if there is, because I can't hear you.
Let's do that.
Can't hear you.
That's
Maybe
that there.
In your settings, I don't know.
How's that? Is that any good? No, nothing.
I don't know if you're
no, he's not going to
me.
be able to hear us, is he? Oh, how annoying is that? Never mind. Never mind. Well, we tried it. Once you tried it, that's it. I have to try it again later on my own. Yes, the Sun has got the story in there as well this morning. But yes, she's had more rows apparently behind the scenes with all these people. Why anyone would want to watch her on the telly, I really don't know. So that's it. But have you fitted a light for us all to know when you are in the room? There's no one ever in the room, Roy. Just me. I'm the only one in the room. Here's another interesting story today. Classical music. Anyone into classical music? Probably not. Now, we've got 2 classical radio stations here in the UK. We've got Radio 3, which has been going on forever and a day. And we also have Classic FM. Classic FM are the only sort of, what do you call it, commercial classical radio station. There's going to be another one. Oh, yes. There's going to be another one. It'd be interesting to see how they throw this station together. One of the presenters is going to be Simon Mayo. Now, Simon Mayo, you would relate really to Radio 1 and then, of course, Radio 2. Happy, upbeat, jingles and all that and the other. So I'm going to be very, very interested to find how they're going to do this station. Again, in the Daily Mail this morning, on his Radio 2 show, Simon Mayo was far more likely to be found playing tracks by Madonna or Radiohead than anything by Mozart or Rachmaninoff. I can't say that word. Rachmaninoff. I'd be no good on the news doing foreign words, would I? But all that's set to change after the former BBC DJ landed an unlikely job as host of a new classical music station. From the 4th of March, Mr. Mayo will take to the airwaves for Scala Radio. Ba-da-ba-ba-da, Scala Radio. Yes, a new station plotted by Magic owner Bayer Media under the code name Project Quaver. Mr. Mayo will host a mid-morning entertainment show on the classical music station, which is gearing up to rival Classic FM with celebrity interviews and phone-ins. Wow. I think they're going to do it like a pop station, that sort of same format. Jingles, interviews, that sort of thing. Now, that would be very interesting to see how that works. Starring 60, he said there are hundreds of radio stations playing rock and pop and only 2 classical music stations until now. He says, we're different because we're going out to entertain, laugh with the listeners and have a good time. Now, you listen to either of the classical music stations we have at the moment here in the UK, and they're not exactly a bag of laughs, are they? Do you know what I mean? If you like classical music, you want to sit there quietly and listen, then it's there. But that's it. I mean, I've got to be honest, there's a girl on there at the weekends, and I've had it on sometimes. And it's a bit too laid back for me, Classic FM. And they say the same words all the time. There's this girl on there, Katie Braithwaite, that's it, that's her name. And she comes on in between every couple of records and that's a lovely record there. Katie Braithwaite with you, taking you through the night here on Classic FM. And I've got some gorgeous music coming up for you. And it's the same bloody thing all the time. There's no excitement in her voice at all. Is it Bill Turnbull? He's on. He's quite good on there. He's quite entertaining. I think it's him, Bill Turnbull. But a lot of them, they're just boring voices. They're far too calm and collected. A little bit like myself, perhaps. But they're going to start this new station, Bayer. He says, some of the music will be familiar, some new and exciting, but all timeless, beautiful and absolutely relevant to today. A spokesman for Bayer, they run lots of radio stations, insisted that Simon had a long-standing love for classical music, but declined to offer any further detail. While many fans of Mr. Mayo will welcome his return to the airwaves, others are likely to be disappointed. They have been lobbying him online to replicate his BBC show on a new radio station, just as Chris Evans has managed to do with his new breakfast show on Virgin. Now, you see, Chris Evans started on Virgin on Monday. I've never heard his station. I've never heard his show before. But I think he probably left the BBC not for money, but because if you work for the BBC, you're very... you've got to stick to the rules. You haven't got much scope to muck around and do your own thing. A little bit like me doing this. You know, I can do anything I want on here. Anything. I'm in complete control. You go for a station, but especially the BBC, you're going to be very, very careful what you're doing and what you're saying in case you upset someone and they write a letter and all that. Doesn't bother me. You write as many dodgy letters as you want. I'll carry on doing what I like. Mr. Mayo left the BBC in October after 8 years on Radio 2 after his bosses insisted in installing Joe Wiley. Now, Joe Wiley, again, a great broadcaster, but why spoil something that's already working? I would have done my nut. I would have done my nut. So I've been doing this radio station for years, and then suddenly they stick someone with me. For what purpose? Did happen to me, actually. While I was DJing years ago, I used to do this 70s and 80s night at a wonderful place that I worked for many, many years, the Black Cap in Camden Town. Did the 70s and 80s night, run for a couple of years, and then suddenly the governor decides to put a drag queen in with me. Well, we didn't need one. We didn't have one before. Oh, it will add to the evening. It was already packed. Let me tell you, this night was so busy, you couldn't get a fag paper in between the two people. In between two people on the dance. It was that busy. And then suddenly, this drag queen appeared. Actually, there was two of them. One was okay, but unnecessary. The other was a customer there. And as a customer, they were okay. The moment they put a dress on, they were they were Gemma Collins. Not that fat, but they were Gemma Collins with that attitude towards people. And people were coming up to me and complaining. Why have we got this? And I'm like, well, I don't know. It wasn't my idea. Anyway, we got rid of them eventually. Not immediately. Why do they try and fix something that's not broken? What a stupid thing to do. And this is what happened to Simon Mayo, you see. He had a perfectly good show, and then some idiot from upstairs decides to try and change it. Just probably to match up the amount of men and women. You know, all that business going on, a load of old crap it is. The move was met when Joe Wiley joined with a furious backlash from listeners who said the pair had no chemistry. And that's another thing, you see. You've got to have chemistry. You can't... And this has been tried so many times. Happened to Tony Blackburn. It happened to Tony Blackburn. Now, he's never mentioned this at all, but it was pretty obvious to me. He was on a station, I can't remember what one it was, and he had a woman with him. Now, the woman was probably just as good a presenter, you know, as anyone else. But Tony doesn't need anyone else on that show with him. We are listening to the show to listen to Tony Blackburn, to listen to Simon Mayo, to listen to Chris Evans. They don't need anyone else with them. You know? I don't understand why they do this. Mr. Mayo is not the only BBC face lined up to join the new ranks of... It's going to be called Radio Scala. Now, I don't know about that name. Radio Scala. That's an odd name for a classical radio station, isn't it? Or am I missing something here? Does that mean something, Radio Scala? Does the name Scala mean... See, the only Scala I know is the Scala nightclub, which is in King's Cross. And that don't do classical music, anything of the sort. Christ, you see them queuing up outside there on a Saturday. You take your life in your hands if you drive past that lot. Radio Scala is going to be joined by one presenter, Angelina Bell, I don't know who that is, and Mark Kermode, I don't know who that is either, actually. And that'd be an interesting story. So I look forward to listening to that. Has it got a start date on there? Let's have a look. I don't think it doesn't actually have a start date on there, but I would imagine it's just round the corner as they've made the announcement now. All right. Katie Ann. Hello, Katie Ann Patterson. Hi, Chris. She's a bit late this morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning, young lady. Sorry, good morning, young lady. Chris Manzar. Scholar like smart. No, Scala. S-C-A-L-A. Scala. Radio Scala. Bit odd, that, isn't it? Radio Scala. Never heard of it. We'll do one more story and then we'll do the birthdays. And I can play you the happy birthday music now. How fantastic is that? How exciting. How about working for Audi? They're about to give everyone a rise. Yes, in the Daily Mirror this morning, Audi has strengthened its position as the UK's best paying supermarket. Did you know that? They're the ones who pay the best. Audi. Mind you, they work for it. They do work for it at Audi. You never see a member of Audi staff going like that with their thumbs on with nothing to do. They are always busy, busy, busy in Audi. but they pay the money, according to this in the Daily Mirror. They're increasing the minimum hourly rates of pay for store workers. Store assistants will be paid minimum hourly rates of £9.10 nationally and £10.55 inside the M25 from February, rising to £10.41 after 3 years nationally and £10.89 in London. They previously earned £8.85 and £10.20 an hour, respectively. It comes just after months after Lidl announced plans to increase wages for its 17,000 workers in March to around 10% higher than the government's minimum wage. It's a shame that companies, organisations, clubs, bars and all that seem to use the government's minimum wage to say, oh yeah, well don't worry, we pay the minimum wage, when they could easily afford to pay a little bit more. Bar staff in particular are paid very badly in this country, I think. And the tips aren't exactly, you're trying to get money and tips out of people doesn't happen here. And if you were in America and a bar person, they're very well paid over there. Mainly in tips, nevertheless. But virtually every time someone goes and buys a drink in America, the bartender is given some sort of tip, whether it's $1 or $10. Be honest with you, the better looking you are, I would assume the more money you can make. I'd make a fortune, wouldn't I? Let's be honest. Poor old Adrian Richardson, who's watching this morning, wouldn't make anything at all, would you, Adrian? Never mind. Never mind. Audi's new outer London rate should tend to be higher than the voluntary real living wage of £9 an hour, while it will match the £10.55 rate recommended for workers in the capital. They are well above the statutory national living wage, which is only £7.83 an hour for adults, which increases to £8.21 in April. So good on Audi for doing that, yeah. Very, very impressed with Audi for doing that. That's not bad, is it? Eh? I mean, it's not exactly the same as some of the bank workers, is it? Earning hundreds of pounds an hour, mate. Money you and I could only ever dream of, but life is not only about money, as you well know. Never in 1,000 years. All right, let's do today's birthdays, boys and girls. Happy birthday to... Oh, hang on a minute. Let me do my text messages. I haven't looked at the text messages this morning. How rude is that? There we go. 1 minute. We didn't look at these earlier. That's because I haven't got the phone in front of me. Text messages coming up. Ooh, where are we? Messages. Oh, come on. This is very slow, this. Look how long this takes. There we are. Maureen, a very good morning to Maureen, who says, yes, Chris, I put Fernando up as my third song, but we didn't get to it, Maureen, unfortunately, did we? We ran out of time yesterday, so I was disappointed not to get an Abba song from you last night, Maureen. I do like your Abba. Super Trooper. Why I'm sick and tired of everything. Da 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 da. Oh, there's lots of happy, fast songs you can do, Maureen. With Abba at the karaoke. What are you going to do if you're coming Friday? Please do Abba songs for me, just for me on Friday. Mark in Nottingham, good morning. Who's watching us? Oh, hang on a minute. No, that's last week, isn't it? There we are. Peter in Woodall Spa. Good morning, Peter. Who's watching on his television in the bedroom. The sun is shining. The sun has got its hat on. Still got frost on the grass, very cold, still got snowdrops growing out. How lovely, snowdrops in the garden, at the bottom of the garden. Who likes the shirt and jacket, thank you very much. Peter also likes classical music. Ah, right, okay. There's a nice powerful number. Try the Master Singers on Nuremberg, that's quite good. The Master Singers, it goes da 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 da. That one. The Master Singers. All right? Did we get anyone else on YouTube this morning? No. Strange that. I have a feeling they're not getting the notifications again. Very annoying. All right, birthday time. Happy birthday on this Tuesday, the 22nd of January, 2019. Do. Oh, where's they gone? I've lost my birthdays now. They were there a minute ago. Where have they gone? 1 minute, 1 minute. There we are. Bryan James. Good morning, Bryan. Morning, young Bryan. He's raising money for guide dogs. Bryan James, a young 27 years old today. Happy birthday, Bryan. Gary Cummings. I keep trying to ring you, Gary, and you never answer the phone. I'm not going to ring anymore. You got 4 weeks before your number's deleted from my phone. Gary Cummings, 52 years old today. He runs a pub owns a pub in Sydenham. Happy birthday, Gary. Phoebe Lace today is 22 years old. John Child, 47 years old today. Lisa M. Kingswood is 40 years today. Mary Flick, one of our wonderful Barry Manilow fans. Happy birthday, Mary. Sheriff Stewart is 34 years old today. Dave Doyle Curry. Good morning, Dave. Looking very butch in that photo. Happy birthday to you. And Adrian Gerst's birthday as well this morning. So happy birthday to you all, boys and girls. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. There we are. Got the music now, see? Although I'm not too keen on that particular version. It's a little bit elongated, isn't it? Katie's birthday in 5 days' time, isn't it, Katie? 5 days. We're watching. Joanna, good morning, Joanna. No notification for Joanna. The YouTube notifications are not working at the moment. I have no idea why that is, I'm afraid, boys and girls. Katie says, when I met my husband, he earned $150 a week. Oh, I would have got one in with a bit more money than that, Katie. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, thanks ever so much. That's it for the show today. I'll try and work a little bit more on the Skype, and we can see if we can get that working. Not that it's not necessary. I just, you know, if we ever wanted to open the phone lines here, then it'd be quite nice to have that facility. I shall go and take my pictures now for underneath the caravan and have my pills and a nice cup of tea before I set off for swimming. It's a very, very busy life, you know. Have a lovely Tuesday. Thanks very much for watching and listening, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye now.